Hi, and welcome back to another JobPro video. Today we will be walking through Phase 2 training. If you haven't watched our Phase 1 training video that covered dashboards, data sheets, and bids, we recommend doing so before watching the rest of Phase 2. Our Phase 2 training will cover the final part of JobPro's typical workflow, creating and scheduling jobs and invoicing. Let's get started. Once your bid has been created and your customer has approved, you are ready to create your job. Navigate to the top of your bid page and click the green Create Job button. You will be given two options to choose from. If your bid contains groups or options and you'd like to create a job splitting these into separate work orders, choose the Split Work Orders by Group/Options. This option allows you to be able to view and schedule your jobs by the groups you've already created within your bid. If you do not have any groups or would like all of your items on a single job, choose the Create Single Job option. For the sake of this training video, we will be creating a single job. Once you've chosen your option and clicked Create Job, you will be taken to the job page. The first thing you will notice is that the job page is set up very similar to both the datasheet and bid pages. At the top of the page, you will see a data field that contains the job name and details. There are links to the customer, datasheet, and bid connected to this job, and you can see the billable and invoiced amounts. Below this area, you will see some of the same editable tabs as before. You can see that the Job Information tab holds the main information of this job, including the same next call date as the previous pages. The job page also includes the Address tab, Contacts tab, Notes, Documents, and Reports History tabs. In addition to these tabs, there are additional tabs that need to be explored. The Crews/Scheduling tab is where you can assign your crews and add your job to the JobPro Scheduler. To add a crew, make sure you've selected the Crews option to the left and click Add Crew. This will open a pop-up window where you can enter however many resources is necessary. The data field next to each resource is where you will enter the percentage split each resource should receive. This needs to be entered in order for the crew's piece rate to be split properly and the job costing to calculate correctly. Now that your crew has been added, you can click on the Scheduling option and add a date for the job to begin. Although it is optional to add crews and schedule your jobs, these options allow organizations to have the most integrative and efficient experience as possible. Now that we have added a scheduled date to this job, let's take a look at how it will now appear on another JobPro feature, the Scheduler. To find the Scheduler, navigate to the Entry drop-down and click Scheduler. This will take you to the JobPro Scheduler. You can now see that your job has been scheduled to the calendar. You also have the option to schedule your jobs directly from the scheduler. The most recent jobs will appear on the list to the right, or you can search for your job specifically by entering in the search criteria. Once you've found the job you'd like to schedule, simply drag and drop it onto the date it needs to be scheduled for. The scheduler can be viewed from a week, month, day, or dispatch view. Once a job has been scheduled, you can control what data displays by clicking any of the blue buttons here at the top of the page. Click any of these to add or remove that data from displaying on the job. You can also hover over the Financial and Material buttons to see a quick snapshot of the week you are viewing. The month view gives you a quick summary of the number of jobs per day for the month, and the day view gives you a more detailed look at what has been scheduled for that specific day. The dispatch view is a unique feature that will display a balloon marker for each job. This allows you to efficiently dispatch your crews each day. Back on the job page, the next tab we need to review is the Job Processing tab. There is a variety of different actions that you can perform within the Job Processing tab. This tab is where you can enter your actual material use, create invoices, add expenses and job recommendations, and view any linked jobs. Let's begin to process our job through the Job Materials option. Here you will find the items from your accepted bid. To print a work order for this job, click the Print Work Order button, choose your template, and click Save. This will generate a PDF of your work order that will also be saved in the Reports History tab. The work order displays the job information as well as the amounts of each item your installers will need and any notes you have added. One of the more important uses of the Job Processing tab is that it allows users to accurately cost the actual materials used to the job. Once a job has been completed, users will simply be able to open this tab and enter the material they have used. There are two ways this can be accomplished. If your installers are responsible for entering this information into your system, the easiest way is through our Technicians app. Your installers will be able to open their app, find the job they are working on, and enter any materials used directly to their job. Just to note, if your installers are also paid hourly, they can clock in and out directly through the Tech app as well. For a more in-depth look into exactly what our Technicians app can do, you can click the link to our Tech app tutorial video below. If your actuals are being entered by an administrator, the Job Processing tab is where they will enter in any material used. Once the installers have reported back with the items that were installed, your administrator can navigate to the Job Processing tab, find the item that needs to be entered, add the date, the crew that installed the material, and the quantity installed. To finish adding this material to the job, click the green plus sign on the right side. Now if you click the History button here, you can see the material has been added to the job. The next tab we will review is the Time tab. If your installers are paid hourly, this is where their time can be entered and connected with the job they worked on. As I mentioned before, if your installers are using the Tech app, they will be able to clock in and out directly from the app. But if their time is being entered by an administrator, this tab is where this can be accomplished. To add time, simply click the Add Time button. This will take you to a new screen that displays any crew member that has been assigned to this job. To enter time for your installers, simply enter the work date, start and end time, or the total hours, and choose the installer's rate. You have the option to assign this time to a specific item, although it is not necessary. You also have the option to enter any notes that may be relevant to this time entry. If you need to add time for more than one day, simply click the green plus sign to the right of the installer to add more time entry lines. Once you have finished entering the information needed, click the Save button. Now that your time entries have been saved, we can click the Back to Job button and we will see that these new entries are now displaying on the Time tab. Now that we have processed both materials and time to this job, it is important to know just how this information translates into the job's profitability. Each entry made on the Job Processing and Time tabs is calculated and displayed through the Profitability tab. This allows you to have a more accurate view of your job costs. The Profitability tab displays both the proposed and actual amounts of your job, giving you a quick look at what was quoted versus what was installed on the job, allowing you to identify whether or not you have exceeded your estimated budget within a specific area of the job. The information on this tab is broken down into 4 different sections. The Job Summary section displays a summary of the proposed and actual totals. Here you will see the proposed and actual total price, material and labor costs, any expenses added, total gross profit, commissions earned, and the total net profit. The Category Detail section breaks down the job's cost in detail according to the item categories the material belongs to. Each line will show you the quantity installed and the proposed and actual comparisons of the revenue, material and labor costs, profit, and the labor detail. If a category has a higher profit, the total will be highlighted in green. If the profit is lower, the total will be highlighted in red, making it easy to see at a quick glance which categories did better or worse than planned. The labor detail section breaks down the labor earned by each resource that was scheduled and installed material. The labor is broken down based on how you pay your installers. Whether you pay your installers based on piece rate, hourly, or a combination of both, that information is calculated in the system and displayed here. The labor detail section is first broken down by resource, then by labor category. Each line total is displayed along with the grand total of their labor earnings on the job. Finally, if any expenses have been added to the job, they will be displayed in the job sheet expenses detail. These expenses can be added to your job through the Job Processing tab. Simply click the Job Expenses option to the left, add an expense comment and amount, and click Add Expense. Now that you've added this expense to the job, it will display in the job sheet expense detail. One important thing to note is that once a job has been created, you can no longer edit the bid this job originated from. If you find that you need to add or remove any items from the billable total for this job, you can add a change order through the Change Order tab. Click the Add Change Order button at the top and you will be directed to a new page that allows you to take the same steps as when entering a new bid. Choose the office and starting template for this change order and click Submit. Now you can enter anything into the bid worksheet just as before. Once your customer has accepted this new change order to their bid, you can click the Finalize Change Order button to add these new items to the job. When you click this button, the system will give you 3 options for what to do with these items. The most popular option is to add items to this work order. This option adds the items directly to the work order this change order was created from. The next option is to add items to a new work order. This option will create a new work order that is still directly connected to the parent job. And finally, the last option will add these items to the original job. This is used when you have created multiple work orders for a job and want to add these items to the base or parent job. Finally, when you are ready to send your customer an invoice for their job, we will go back to the Job Processing tab and choose the Job Invoices option. This option is available at any point once your job has been created. You can create an invoice before, during, or after the work has been completed. Here you will see any invoice that has been previously created, and you'll have the option to create a new invoice. Click the Create New Invoice button to get started. This will open a window that allows you to create an invoice for any amount that is less than or equal to the amount the bid was for. You can do this by entering a percentage, a dollar amount, or by line item below. If you're creating an invoice for the entire amount, the fastest way to enter this information is to click the green 100% icon. This will automatically fill out your information for the entire invoice. Once you have settled on an amount for your invoice, click the Create Invoice button. This will take you to the new invoice page. From here, you can print and email your invoice, add payments, apply existing payments, and make invoice adjustments. To email your invoice to your customer, click the Print Invoice button. This will generate a PDF of your invoice that you can review. Plus, it will be saved in the Reports History tab. Navigate to the Reports History tab and click the envelope icon in the email column. Your customer's contact information will display as soon as you click into any of the Email To options. If you need to add an email that is not in this list, you can simply type it in the data field. Enter any additional notes you see necessary and click Send Email. Your customers will now receive an email with a link to their invoice. The final thing we will cover today is how to enter and apply your customers' payments. To add a payment to your invoice, simply click the Add Payment button. This new window allows you to enter your payment detail and apply it to any invoice connected to this customer. Now that this payment has been applied, you can view it in the Payments/Credits tab, as well as see that the balance paid and amount due have been updated. That's going to wrap up our Phase 2 training video. If you have any questions about anything we've covered or would like to sign up for Phase 2 training session with some of our support staff, please contact us at 704-584-4019 or send an email to support@jobprotech.com. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.